If you want to use the table to double check, remember at 2 you should have a y value of 0, and same thing with 5. Now, if you have to do the second trace, all right, so if you're choosing to do, if it's at a decimal and you want to do the second trace, you're going to hit 0. So I'm going to write those steps down right here so you have them. Second trace 0. And then you need to move your spider to the 0. All right. All right, so go to the 0, but don't hit enter. All right, do not hit enter, just move it toward the 0. You need to go left 2 times and then hit enter. It really doesn't matter if you go twice, you just need to get on the left side of your 0. So normally 2 times will do it and push you on the left side of it. And then we're going to go right 4 times and hit enter. Once again, it doesn't actually have to be 4 times. Normally that'll just push us over to the right. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2 will push us over to the right. If you want to get over a little bit more, you can, but just make sure your little spider's on the right side, hit enter. And then when you are guessing, you just hit enter again. Don't move your spider, just hit enter again. And then it will pop up at that 0. And you would do the same thing for this one. All right, so you'd second trace 0 and then go to the 0 you're trying to find. All right, next one is square roots. All right, so when you're solving with square roots, that's going to tell you the real or imaginary. So it will do both. It'll tell you the real solution and the imaginary solution. You use square roots when you only have one term with an x. All right, only have one term with an x. So you kind of your 2 instances, maybe something like that with the parentheses, or I don't know, something like that. So you notice only one term has an x. All right, so if you just have one term with an x, you can solve using square roots. And so when you're solving, you're using reverse PEMDAS. All right, so here's my problem. Draw my line. All right, so first you're going to get rid of anything that's being added or subtracted. All right, nothing is being added or subtracted on this one. So then I'm going to go to multiplying and dividing. All right, I'm multiplying by -2. So to get rid of that, I'm going to divide by -2. So x plus 3 squared equals -4. Do you get rid of what's being multiplied or divided? You're going to get rid of the exponent, which is the square. So you're going to square root both sides. Every time you square root, you have to put a plus minus. And on this one, because it's negative, you have to put an I. Then you're going to check the square root of 4. Is it a nice root? It is. Square root of 4 is going to be 2. So I'm going to rewrite that as plus minus 2i. All right, and then the last step is to do what was left over in parentheses. And so that's this x plus 3. So I'm going to minus 3 on both sides. Now you can't actually combine them. You're just going to write them together, -3 plus minus 2i. You can't combine them because one has an I and one doesn't. All right, completing the square was one of the hardest problems we did. It will tell you the real or